Welcome to Budget Beauty, where I help you look flawless for less. Welcome back and a very special welcome. If you're new here, my name is Jen and this is Budget Beauty. We do everything beauty on a budget, and that includes collections and declutters. I'm going to be sharing with you my entire makeup collection over the series of a few videos. We are going to declutter, and today we are focusing on bronzers, highlighters, and face palettes. And I have a lot of them. I have already shown my collection of blushes as well as lippies. I will link both of those videos down below for you. This is more of a collection video, but of course I am going to be decluttering some products along the way, and we'll finish out this series with my huge eyeshadow palette collection and declutter, so stay tuned for that coming up soon. The items that I declutter, as long as they are in new or gently used condition, will be on my Poshmark. I'll put my Poshmark down in the description box if you're interested in picking up any of these products at a super affordable price. If they've been swatched or if they are gently used, they will be sanitized before being put up on my Poshmark. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy collection and declutter videos. Also subscribe if you're not. I would love to have you here. I do upload lots and lots of new content every single week. Down in the description box, you will find the other videos, my Poshmark, all of the makeup that I'm wearing in today's video. And don't forget, come on over, follow me on TikTok for more beauty on a budget. Let's jump into bronzers, highlighters, and face palettes. So here's what we're working with. These are all of my highlighters. My bin is overflowing. Those are just some of my face palette. I also have the Cab palette that I've never used. I have some more face palettes in this top drawer. And then here are all of my bronzers. So we have lots to go through, lots to share and declutter. So the first bronzer is the Hoola from Benefit. I love this bronzer. It's one of my go-to. I actually finished an entire one of these bronzers. That's how much I really like it, so I'm definitely keeping it. Next up is a bronzer from Bare Minerals. This is in the shade Warmth. I love Bare Minerals. I've really grown to like them over this last year. I love this bronzer. When I self-tan, this is my go-to bronzer because it is a little bit deeper shade. I really enjoy this. I found this at TJ Maxx. Sometimes you can find Bare Minerals for a fantastic deal. I am definitely keeping. I received this bronzer in the subscription box. This is from the brand Shades by Shan, and I like this bronzer. When I first saw it, I wasn't so sure if I was going to like the color. It looked like it pulled a little bit orange, but once you get it on the skin, it's perfect. I really like it. It is a little bit more of a chalky formula, but it blends out on the skin really nicely. It doesn't swatch the best because it is a little bit chalky, but it applies really nicely. I absolutely love the brand LYS, and so I had to pick up one of their bronzers. This is in a medium shade called Harmony. I really like this brand. They have fantastic cream blushes as well. This brand is sold at Sephora, but it's actually one of the more affordable brands at Sephora, and I love the triangle packaging. Next is from Kylie Cosmetics. This is in the shade Tawny Mommy. I've used this a couple of times, and I don't love it. I don't love the color on me. The formula is really nice. It just pulls a little bit red on my skin. I think I've used this maybe 2 or 3 times as well as swatched it once. So I'm going to clean this up, sanitize this, and this will go on my Poshmark if you're interested in picking up one of the Kylie Cosmetics bronzers. From Flower Beauty, I have one of their Heat Wave bronzers. These are a more luminous bronzer. It's a baked bronzer. This is in Sunrise, and I love this. If I want that glowy bronzer, this is the one that I reach for. It is sold at Ulta on the drugstore side. It's super affordable. If you love a glowy bronzer, a luminous bronzer, highly recommend the Flower Beauty. So this iconic bronzer I received in a BoxyCharm. This is in the shade Deep Bronze. And when I first pulled it out of the box, I first thought, this is huge. This is an absolutely huge pan of bronzer. And I wasn't sure about the color. It looked like it may pull a little bit red. It's beautiful on the skin. I love it. This is one of the bronzers that I reach for the absolute most. So highly recommend Iconic London. Another bronzer that came in a subscription box is from the brand Real Her. This is in the shade Bronzed Beauty. I love this. I have also really grown to love the Real Her brand. We've received quite a bit in Boxy over this last year. And then I found a killer deal at Costco on some of their lip liners and lipsticks. Fantastic brand. I really, really, truly love this bronzer, and this shade is perfect. A bronzer from Viseart. This is in the shade Bronze Noi. I have to say, I just love Viseart's packaging. So here is the bronzer shade. Now, it is a little bit light for my skin tone. It works best for me in the winter. I think this would be better suited for someone with maybe a lighter than me skin tone. I am going to keep it and use it. I actually have 2 of these, so I will be putting the second brand new unused one up on my Poshmark. Viseart is an absolutely amazing brand. I also have 2 little samples of the Nars Laguna bronzer. One of these came in the Sephora Favorites kit, and one of these came in the birthday kit that I chose for my birthday this year. I really like this bronzer. It's very buttery, and I feel like it's a good shade for a lot of skin tones. So I'm definitely keeping both of my little baby Laguna bronzers. Next is from Basic Beauty. I received this in a subscription box this year as well. This is the Bronzy AF palette. Now this shade here, I never use this. It's literally orange on my skin. This shade's a bit dark for me, but if I mix these 2 together, it's the perfect shade. I like Basic Beauty. We've received a lot of their products in boxy and in subscription boxes, and this is a pretty good quality bronzer palette, so I'm definitely keeping. I also have a mini of the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, just their go-to shade. I really like this bronzer. It smells amazing. It smells like coconut. It's small, so I feel like this is a bronzer I can use up, so I'm going to keep. And last but not least for bronzer, my favorite drugstore bronzer is actually from NYX, and this is in the shade Deep. I love this bronzer. NYX's formula is so good. You don't have to spend $30 or $40 on a bronzer. This one from NYX, the matte bronzer, is game-changing, delicious from the drugstore. Much better, much more organized for my bronzer collection, and I am decluttering the Kylie and my brand new one of the Viseart, my duplicate. Again, both of these will be up on my Poshmark. Now we're going to tackle my overwhelming, way too much highlighter collection. Now I love highlighters. I love having a variety of highlighters, but this is a lot. So my first highlighter comes from Ruby May Cosmetics. I love this brand of lashes. I didn't even know they had makeup, but they do. So I have the bronzer in the color Flapper. Now this is a very shiny, kind of cream to powder formula. Really, really nice formula, but this bronzer is just way too deep for me. This would be a beautiful eyeshadow, but I don't reach for my single shadows a lot either. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. I've never used this, so I will put this up on my Poshmark. Next up is from Colourpop. This is in the shade Flexitarian. This is one of their Super Shock highlighters. This is my favorite Colourpop Super Shock highlighter ever. This color is gorgeous. It's a icy champagne. If you want to get into the Colourpop Super Shock highlighters, pick up Flexitarian. It's the absolute best. Another Colourpop Super Shock highlighter is Out of Quartz. Now I really like this one too. It does have a little bit of a pinky undertone, but it is just absolutely beautiful on the skin. I love the Colourpop formula. I'll go ahead and show you all of my Super Shock highlighters first, but I really, really like this for a more pinky undertone. Again, from Colourpop, I have the Super Shock Cheek in the shade Wisp. This is definitely on the goldy side, but it's beautiful. It's right here on my hand, and it just has such a beautiful shift to it. I am keeping all of my Super Shock cheeks, and this one is a unique highlighter color to my collection. I think this is my last Colourpop, and this is in the shade Guilty Pleasure. I love this. It is an icy highlighter with a pinky gold shifty undertone. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. These just blend into the skin flawlessly. I think I am going to swatch my highlighters for you because it's really nice to see them actually on the skin. So starting at the top here, I have Guilty Pleasure, Wisp, Out of Quartz, and then finally that white icy is Flexitarian. Aren't these absolutely stunning? Next up is from Glam. This is in the shade Moon Glam. This is a silver highlighter. It is beautiful. Now, She Glam is the makeup line of Shein, the clothing line, the really affordable line. Their makeup is so good and super, super affordable. And again, this is just a uniquer color to my collection. And here's the shade Moon Glam. So it's really pretty. It's icy with that little bit of silver undertone. Next is from the brand Medusa's Makeup. This is the Halo Glow Stick Highlighter, and this is in the shade Astro. I love this. Now, it is a little bit more of a toppery type of shade, but look at that shift from blue to green to icy white. I really like this brand. I really like this highlighter, and I'm even considering subscribing to the Medusa's Makeup subscription box. They are an indie brand, and you know how much I love a good indie brand. And then from Melt Cosmetics, I have the highlighter in the shade Pink Moon. Can we just appreciate that pan embossing? So beautiful. Here is what the highlighter looks like. It is pinky. So anytime I go with a pink or a red look, this is the highlighter that I'll reach for because it just complements those colors so well. And Melt has an amazing, amazing formula. So this is my favorite highlighter in my collection, and this is a loose highlighter from Jaclyn Hill, and this is in the shade Extra. It is extra. It is blinding from space. Look at how absolutely beautiful that highlighter is. This one I'm definitely keeping, and I'm even considering purchasing a backup. That's how much I love it. Next up is from BH Cosmetics. This is their Strobe Shock little highlighter quad. Now, I'm not going to swatch this because I'm actually going to declutter this. It's not that I don't like it. It's a great formula, as all BH Cosmetics are. I just don't reach for it because I definitely reach more for either a face palette or a single highlighter. I've never used this. I have only swatched it, so I will definitely be putting this up on my Poshmark. Next is the Colourpop X Barbie highlighter in the shade Beach Party. This is like their Super Shock Cheek. It's that nice creamy formula, and I really like this highlighter shade. It definitely has a little bit more of a goldy undertone, but I find that I reach for this a lot in the summer. I will say that this packaging is a little hard to open, but I definitely love this highlighter. Another Jaclyn Hill highlighter. This is from her summer release, limited edition. I don't know if this is still available, but this is in the shade Skylight, and this is beautiful. You can see that it's that putty-like formula, similar to the Colourpop Super Shocks, and it is beautiful. It is another one of those goldy champagne-y highlighters, and what I love about the Jaclyn Hill highlighters is you can see those from space, and I already mentioned those are my favorite highlighters, so I'm definitely keeping. Next is this little highlighter palette from the brand Touch and Soul. This is called the Glodiant Palette, and you can see that the highlighters go from a light highlighter to a deeper highlighter. My favorite way to use this is to actually just run my brush across all 5 shades, and it's beautiful. The quality of this is really, really good. I just don't reach for it. I've swatched it and I've used it maybe once. So I am going to go ahead and sanitize this, clean this up, and this will also go on to my Poshmark. One of my other favorite highlighter brands is from Be Perfect and their Get Wet formula. This is in the shade Do You, D-E-W-U. This is a creamy formula, again, similar to the Colourpop, but these are just beautiful. They are very wet looking. Your skin looks wet per the name of the Get Wet series. It is just a beautiful formula, beautiful highlighter. I actually have 2 of these, so let me show you the other one, and I am definitely keeping. This one is probably my favorite, and this is in the shade Skin Sheer, so let me swatch this for you. So creamy. So this one right here, the white one, is the Skin Sheer, and then the pinky toned one is the Do You. But just look at how beautiful those lay on the skin. So of course, I am keeping this one as well. Next is this interesting highlighter from Milk Makeup. It comes in kind of like a crayon type of style. This is in the shade Hopscotch. Here is what it looks like. It's beautiful. It's actually the highlighter that I'm wearing on my face today. My only complaint about this is it's hard to roll it up out of the container. It's hard to roll it up, and it is a little bit more on the chalky side, so you have to blend it out really well. But I mean, look at how stunning that is. Next is the Harrowing Glow 2 from Juvia's Place. This is one of her baked highlighters. It is absolutely stunningly beautiful. Here it is on my hand. Look at that pinky goldy champagne. It's beautiful, but I have this same highlighter over and over in my collection. And this is a pretty bulky package. I do like the packaging, but it's pretty bulky, and you saw how full my highlight bin is. I've used this once and swatched it for you, so I am going to go ahead and put this up on my Poshmark as well. I'm obsessed with this highlighter. I'm obsessed with the Nomad brand. This is the Ko Fa Ning Moonlight Palette, Moonlight Highlighter. There it is. I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing that right, but this highlighter is beautiful. It is purple. It is a purple highlighter, and I love everything about it. Look at how stunning that is. Again, whenever I go with a more purple, mauvey, pinky look, this is the perfect highlighter to add to that look. Beautiful, 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 definitely keeping. Next up is from Okra, and this is the Milk and Cookies highlighter. You can see how much love I give this highlighter. It is one of my favorites from Okra. I just mix both of those shades together, but you could pull from the lighter shade or the darker side. So there it is, swatched together. So I just ran my finger down the middle of both of those shades. You can't beat Ofra's highlighter formula. I also have the Stars and Stripes Ofra highlighter. This one is unique to my collection. Again, you can either pull from the pink or just the white or mix them together. My favorite way to use this is to go ahead and just swipe my brush over all the colors. It is so beautiful. It has that pink and white shift. I mean, it is absolutely stunning. It is so bright and beautiful. Again, another one of those shades that you can see from space. So I am definitely keeping my Ofra highlighter. Next, from Kylie Cosmetics, I have the highlighter in the shade Cheers Darling. So this is definitely a more champagne highlighter. Here's what it looks like. It's beautiful. It's definitely that goldy champagne. I do have a few highlighters similar to this in my collection, but this is the only Kylie Cosmetics that I have. So I am going to keep it because I do really like the color. I have the Metal Moon highlighter from Fenty Beauty. This is a very white highlighter. Now, it's not my favorite. I prefer some of my other white highlighters like the Jaclyn Hill. I have swatched this and used this once. I am going to go ahead and put this up on my Poshmark. I will clean it up and sanitize it really well. So if you've wanted to try a Fenty Beauty highlighter, here's your chance to get one at a fantastic deal. And here is that Fenty highlighter. It is actually really pretty, but it's just a duplicate to a lot of the other ones in my collection. I have the little Sculpt palette from Mirabella Beauty. Now, Mirabella Beauty is an indie brand, and this is actually a bronzer highlighter little palette. I am not going to swatch this for you because I am going to declutter this. This is going to go up on my Poshmark. It's in the shade Fate and Serenity. It's fantastic quality. I just don't reach for this. Like I mentioned, if I'm going for a face palette, I'm going for a larger face palette. So I will go ahead and add this one to my Poshmark as well. My favorite in the world drugstore highlighter is from LA Girl. This is their strobe light, and this is in 120 watt. This is stunning. It is absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at how icy white and shimmery and beautiful that is. This is a super affordable highlighter. I think it's less than $5. Incredible. Highly recommend the LA Girl strobe light. Next is from the brand Okra. This is their 3D glow highlighter. This is another indie brand. I really love the pan embossing in this highlighter. Here is the shade. So it is that champagne gold. Very similar to some of the other ones that I have in my collection. I will say that this one is beautiful on the skin. It's a beautiful, easy to work with formula, but I am going to go ahead and declutter and add it to my Poshmark. From the brand, The Balm. Now, this is the only product I have from The Balm. This is the Sustainable Gorgeous highlighter, and it is sustainably gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. It is definitely that champagne pinky, very similar to the one we just swatched. I just prefer this formula. I am going to go ahead and keep this one since I am decluttering the Okra, but if you like the shade of this one, you will love the Okra formula as well. Another highlighter from Ruby May Cosmetics. This is in the shade Swing. I am obsessed with this. This is like liquid metal on your hand. Look at how beautiful that is. absolutely shifty and beautiful. The other Ruby May was a bit too dark for me. This one I'm obsessed with. I am definitely keeping. Next up is a highlighter from the brand Essence. Again, beautiful pan embossing. I received this in the Essence Advent Calendar for 2021. It's really pretty. It is a gold highlighter. Definitely better suited for someone with a little bit deeper skin tone. I am going to declutter this, but I'm going to give it to my girlfriend who has a little bit deeper skin tone than I do. I think that she will get a lot of use out of this. Another highlighter from Glam, which again is Shein's makeup line. This is the Chromazome Multi-Chrome Highlighter in Lucid. This is beautiful. Look at this. There's pink, shift to silver, shift to white. Just depending on how you turn your face, you will get just a multi-chrome effect. This is the only multi-chrome highlighter I have, so I am absolutely keeping. From ABH, or Anastasia Beverly Hills, I have their loose highlighter in the shade Vegas. I really like this. It is very, very pretty. It shifts from that icy white to that stunning gold, so I'm definitely going to keep this. This and Jaclyn Hill are the only loose highlighters I have, and these make great inner corner shades as well, so I'm definitely keeping. I have a baby Okra highlighter in the shade Pillow Talk, and I love this. This is just a light pinky shade. It's the amazing Okra quality. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, the shift from pink to white. So I'm definitely keeping this. It is a pretty unique color to my collection, and I just love Ofra's formula so much. I don't know that I could ever declutter their highlighters. From Nabla, I have one of their skin glazes in the shade Privilege. Beautiful pan embossing. Here's what the shade looks like. It is a much more subtle highlight shade. You could actually use this over your whole face to give yourself that glow from within. I just don't reach for this. It's a shade that I have in my highlight collection, and it's not that Scene from Space that I go for. I've used this I think one time, so it's essentially brand new. So I will be putting this Nabla highlighter up on my Poshmark. From the brand About Face, which is actually Halsey's makeup line, I have her Light Lock highlighter. This one is beautiful. It is a lavender and pinky shifting highlight. My Nomad one is definitely more purple. This one shifts from pink to purple. I really, really love this formula, so I am keeping. From Colourpop, from their Y2K collection, this is the Still Loading, and this is that amazing Super Shock Cheek Creamy formula. Here's what it looks like. It is pretty similar to my About Face, but I just love the creamy formula of the Super Shock Cheek, so I am going to keep the Still Loading as well. From Jeffree Star Cosmetics, I do have the Lick My Glit highlighter, which is a shifty from white to green. It's definitely a more glittery, chunkier formula, but it's really pretty. I mean, that shift from white to pink to green. It is the only Jeffree Star Cosmetics product that I have. I actually picked this up off of eBay because I wanted this highlighter in my collection, so I'm definitely going to keep it. I guess I do have a third loose highlighter. This is why I needed to clean this drawer out. This is from Juvia's Place, and this is the Harrowing Loose Highlighter. It's beautiful. It actually reminds me a lot of that ABH loose highlighter. So I am going to go ahead and put this one up on my Poshmark, and I will keep the ABH one since they're pretty similar. I have never used this. This is actually the first time that I've even swatched it. It is absolutely stunning. And last but not least, from Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, I have the shade Iced. Yes, please look at this. I mean, that is definitely See You from Space gorgeous. So I am absolutely keeping. Yay, we are down to one drawer. That is amazing. I mean, this was overflowing. I'm so, so happy to have this more organized. Here are the highlighters that I decluttered. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 highlighters into the declutter onto my Poshmark. Again, the Essence one will go to my friend, but all the rest of these will be on my Poshmark if you're interested. And lastly, for this declutter collection video are all of my face palettes. And I have way too many. This is my Jaclyn Hill Blush and Bronzer Duo. This is in the shades Hot Lava and Cocoa Rich. I love this. It's a little bit too deep for me, and these are very, very pigmented. So I just make sure that I buff them out really well, but I really, really like this formula. The packaging, I will say, is a bit big and bulky, but I love the formula so much I'm keeping. I also have the Lilac Love and Top Tan Duo. This one is definitely a little bit more suited for my skin tone, a little bit lighter in shade. These are so beautiful, absolutely stunning, amazing formula. From Hip Dot, I have the Sun Goddess palette. So this one actually has a couple of blushes and a couple of highlighters. I really like this kind of orangey, more shimmery blush, but this is just a face palette I don't really reach for. So I am going to go ahead and declutter, and I will put on my Poshmark. From Okra Cosmetics, I have the Too Cheeky palette, and I love this palette so much. It has a couple of bronzers, blushes, and highlighters. Everything about Ofra you know I love, so I am absolutely keeping. From Huda Beauty, I have the 3D highlighter palette. I really, really like this palette. You can see I've used it a lot. And what I like about it is at the top up here, it tells you exactly how to use the 4 shades and how to structure your face. And I really like that. Using this palette, I can definitely chisel out my face, and it's fantastic quality. Absolutely amazing, so I am keeping. From Glam, I have the Okra face palette. This one has highlighter, blush, bronzer. There's even a cream product in here. This is incredible. I think this is a $6 face palette, and I love it. It is so good. I reach for this all the time. I am shocked at how amazing the quality is. So this one is staying in my collection. From Iconic London, I have the Blaze Chaser palette. Now I've used this I think once and maybe swatched this. I just don't reach for this. Iconic London is an expensive brand. They have a really good formula. This for some reason is just not a face palette that I gravitate towards. So I am going to go ahead and add this one to my Poshmark as well. From Ofra Cosmetics, I have the Sitting Pretty palette, and I love this. It has 2 blushes and a beautiful, beautiful highlighter. The blush is Pink Satin, Peachy Paradise, and then the highlighter in the middle is Soho. Love it, absolutely love it. From Glamlight, I have the S'mores palette, and I really like this. It has a bronzer, a highlighter, and a blush. It is really, really good quality. I actually got this in a subscription box, and I've used this more times in the last month than I've used a lot of my other face palettes, so I am definitely hanging on to it. The Milk and Honey palette from Beauty Bakery, I have never used this. Here is what it looks like. It's beautiful. It has some blushes, highlighters, bronzers. I just have never reached for this. For some reason, this just doesn't make me want to reach for it. When I'm looking at it right now, I think it's stunning, but because I've never used it and I don't reach for it, it will go on my Poshmark as a brand new item. From Laura Lee Los Angeles, I have her Glazed Lip Kit, which is her highlighter palette. This has had a lot of love because I really, really like this highlighter palette. The formula is amazing, and I love just the range of highlighters, so I am absolutely keeping. This is my holy grail from Ofra Cosmetics. This is the On the Glow palette. This palette is so incredible. It is the only face palette you need. Bronzers, blush, highlighter. You can swirl multiple shades together to get just really unique, pretty looks, or you can use a single shade. I love this palette. I would say that on average, I use this at least 2 or 3 times a week, so it is absolutely staying. From LA Splash Cosmetics, I have the Moonlight Glow palette. This has a couple of blushes, bronzers. It is really pretty. I haven't even used this yet. I just got this, so I'm gonna keep it. I wanna test it out. Hopefully it'll make it through the next declutter. From Cab Cosmetics, I have the Volume 2 Contour Palette. Now, I have never used this palette. I've never swatched it, and I've never used it. And the only reason is because I prefer cream contour. So using a powder contour palette is just not something I'm going to reach for. So I will go ahead and put this brand new contour palette on my Poshmark. If you want to learn to contour, start contouring, or add a nice palette to your collection, this would be a great addition. And my last face palette in my collection is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I have it in Deep. This is amazing. It comes with 5 shadows, a blush, and a highlighter. I love, love, love this. I use it all the time. And you know I'm not a neutral eyeshadow girl, but these shadows are amazing. They're even named where to put them on the eye, so it makes it so easy. I am definitely not getting rid of this. And I'm actually decluttering or selling on Poshmark 4. So I have the Hip Dot palette, the brand new Beauty Bakery Milk and Honey, the iconic London, and the brand new Cab Cosmetics Contour Palette. So here is the highlighters. They look so much more organized, and I have room in here in my face palette drawer, so this definitely makes my heart happy. And then I've condensed down my bronzers as well. I need to do something with all of these lashes and all of these primers, but I'm really happy with how nice everything turned out. Thank you for joining me on my bronzers, highlighters, and face palette collection and declutter. I know this was a super long video, but I feel really good now that I've decluttered and reorganized, and I have a large but organized collection, which makes me feel really, really good. Don't forget, all of the items I decluttered are on my Poshmark that is linked down in the description box, along with all of my other collection and declutter videos, the makeup that I'm wearing in today's video if you'd like to recreate this look. And don't forget, come on over, follow me on TikTok for more beauty on a budget. Thumbs up this video, subscribe if you're not. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.